Imagine that, all the countries, all the people, all mushed together like one big global smoothie, a blend of cultures, languages, and traditions, all in one giant melting pot. No more borders, no more us and them, just one unified world where everyone is connected, just one big, happy, well, maybe not so happy family. Imagine the chaos of a family reunion, but on a global scale. Think about it. Everyone, from the penguins in Antarctica to the polar bears in the Arctic, awkward family reunion by the way, all singing from the same song sheet, except, what song are we singing? And who picked it? With so many voices, finding harmony might be a challenge. And what happens if someone, looking at you, Chad, wants to sing along to Baby Shark on repeat? Imagine the global annoyance. Yeah, things could get messy, fast. Different opinions, different lifestyles, all clashing together. But hey, maybe it wouldn't be all bad. There could be moments of unity, of shared joy and laughter. Maybe, just maybe, there are some upsides to this whole one world thing. Imagine the collaboration, the innovation that could come from such diversity. Or maybe we'd all just end up arguing over who gets to hold the TV remote. The small things could become big issues, because let's be honest, some things never change. No matter how big the world gets, some arguments are universal. But in the end, maybe it's those little arguments and differences that make life interesting. They remind us that even in a world without borders, we're all still wonderfully unique. So, one world, one big mess? Perhaps. But maybe, just maybe, it's a beautiful mess worth embracing. After all, it's our differences that make the world vibrant and full of life. And who knows, maybe, in this one big mess, we'll find a way to create something truly extraordinary. Let's start with the good stuff. Remember those little booklets that took forever to get, cost a small fortune, and always seemed to be expiring at the worst possible moment? Passports? Gone. In a world without borders, you could hop on a plane, or a donkey depending on your budget, and go wherever you wanted, whenever you wanted. Fancy a croissant in Paris? Go for it. A tango in Buenos Aires? Why not? A penguin watching expedition in Antarctica? Just, maybe skip the family reunion. The world is your oyster. Of course, this also means that everyone else could do the same. So, that quiet beach vacation you were planning might be a bit more crowded. No more frantic currency exchanges at the airport. No more trying to figure out if you're getting ripped off by that shady street vendor. In a one-world government, we'd all be singing, money, money, money. Oh wait, we all use the same kind now. But what would that money even be? The US dollar, the euro, the rupee? Get ready for some serious international negotiations, folks, because this is one financial debate that would make even the most Zen yoga instructor lose their cool. And let's not even get started on the logistics of merging everyone's bank accounts. Can you imagine the lines, the paperwork, the inevitable computer glitches that would leave millions of people with, well, let's just say, it wouldn't be pretty. Ah, language. The beautiful, messy, often hilarious tapestry of human communication. But in a one-world scenario, things get a little tricky. Because if everyone speaks a different language, how do we even begin to understand each other? Do we draw straws, play a giant game of charades? Or do we just accept that global communication will involve a lot of awkward hand gestures and confused facial expressions? Of course, we could always just pick one language and force everyone to learn it. But good luck getting the French to give up their beloved oui or the Germans their fondness for incredibly long words.
Section 5. Food fight. Let's be honest, one of the best things about traveling is trying new foods. But in a world without countries, would we all end up eating the same thing? Would pizza become the global dish? Would sushi be relegated to the history books? And what about, dare we say it, Vegemite? Would the rest of the world finally understand the strange, salty allure of Australia's favorite spread? We can only hope. But let's be real, the real battle would be over something far more important. Who makes the best coffee? Get ready for some serious caffeine-fueled debates, folks, because this is one global rivalry that would never die.
Section 6. Whose rules rule? This is the big one, folks. The question of who gets to make the rules in a world that's increasingly interconnected is more pressing than ever. If the whole world is one big happy family, who gets to make the rules? Is it the loudest voice, the richest nation, or the most technologically advanced society? Who decides what's right and wrong? Is it a matter of majority rule, or do we need a moral compass that transcends borders and cultures? Who gets to wear the pants? Or, the ceremonial robe of global leadership. Is it a role for a single individual, or should it be a collective effort? Do we elect a supreme world leader? Imagine the campaign promises and the global debates. Would it be a democratic process or something entirely different? Form a global council of elders? Perhaps wisdom and experience should guide us, but how do we ensure that this council represents the diverse voices of our planet? Or do we just let the robots take over and hope for the best? With AI advancing rapidly, could machines govern us more fairly and efficiently than humans ever could? And what about all those different laws and customs? Each culture has its own unique traditions and legal systems. How do we reconcile these differences in a global framework? Would we all have to agree on a single set of rules? Is it even possible to find common ground on every issue, from human rights to environmental policies? Could you still get arrested for chewing gum in Singapore? Local laws reflect local values, and changing them could be a monumental task. Could you still jaywalk in New York City? Some rules are so ingrained in local culture that they might be impossible to change. These are the questions that keep global governance experts up at night. The challenge of creating a unified set of rules for a diverse world is daunting, but it's a conversation we need to have. In the end, the goal is to find a balance that respects individual cultures while promoting global harmony. It's a delicate dance, but one worth striving for.
Section 7. One flag to rule them all. Forget choosing a language or a currency. Picking a global flag might be the most chaotic task of all. We're talking about a symbol that represents everyone, from the Sahara Desert to the Swiss Alps. Talk about pressure. Do we go for a classic rainbow, a giant peace sign, or maybe something more abstract, like a swirling vortex of colors that represents, well, we're not quite sure what, but it looks cool, right? And who gets to design this masterpiece? A global competition, a random lottery, or do we just let a 5-year-old have a go with some crayons? Hey, it worked for the Sistine Chapel.
Section 8. The Great Global Get-Together. Picture this, a giant worldwide party. Everyone's invited. We've got music, dancing, food, and enough awkward small talk to last a lifetime. Think of it as your family reunion, but on a much, much larger scale. We could have a global talent show. Watch out for those Russian folk dancers. A worldwide sporting event. May the odds be ever in your favor. And a giant potluck where everyone brings their favorite dish. Just please, no more fruitcake. Of course, coordinating something like this would be a logistical nightmare. Imagine trying to find a date that works for everyone. Someone would inevitably end up having to reschedule their wedding, or their cat's birthday party, or their, well, you get the picture.
Section 9. Planet Earth Paradise or Problem. Now let's talk about the environment. In a one-world scenario, we'd all be sharing the same planet. That means we'd have to get serious about climate change, pollution, and all those other things we've been ignoring for far too long. No more pointing fingers at other countries. No more saying, well, they're the ones with the coal mines. It's all of us, baby. We're in this together. Sink or swim, literally. The good news is, with everyone working together, we might actually stand a chance of saving our planet. The bad news is, we'd have to agree on how to do it. And if there's one thing humans are good at, it's disagreeing with each other.
Section 10. United, we stand. Divided, we function? Look, there's no denying that a one-world government would come with its fair share of challenges. We'd have to figure out how to govern billions of people, manage vast resources, and navigate complex cultural differences. But maybe, just maybe, the benefits outweigh the risks. Maybe, in the face of global challenges, we need to start thinking beyond borders and national identities. Maybe we need to embrace our shared humanity and work together to create a better future for everyone. Or maybe we'll just end up arguing over who gets the last slice of pizza. Hey, we can dream, can't we? Section 11. So, one big happy family? Not so fast. So, there you have it, folks. We've explored the idea of a world without borders, a world where everyone is part of one big happy family. The highs, the lows, and the oh my gods, what have we done? It's a concept that brings out a range of emotions, from excitement to sheer bewilderment. Imagine a world without countries, where the lines on the map are erased, and we all share this planet as one united community. It'd be a wild ride, that's for sure. The ups and downs would be like a roller coaster, thrilling and terrifying all at once. One giant melting pot of cultures, languages, and opinions, all trying to coexist on this little blue marble we call home. The richness of diversity would be both our greatest strength and our biggest challenge. Would it be a utopia? Probably not. Utopias are, after all, an ideal that may never be fully realized. But would it be interesting? Oh, you bet! The dynamic interactions and the exchange of ideas would be nothing short of fascinating. But hey, maybe that's the point. Maybe the goal isn't to create a perfect world, but to create a world where we can all learn and grow from our differences. Maybe the beauty of humanity isn't in our similarities, but in our differences. It's in the way we come together despite those differences, in the way we find common ground and build bridges, and maybe, just maybe, the best way to create a better world is to celebrate those differences, learn from each other, and find a way to coexist. Even if it means occasionally arguing over who makes the best coffee. Because in the end, it's these small, everyday interactions that build the foundation of a more harmonious world. Picture a world where we share meals from different cultures, where children from diverse backgrounds play together without a second thought. It's in these moments that we see the true potential of a united world. Cultural festivals would become global celebrations, with traditional dances and music from every corner of the earth blending into a symphony of human expression. Working together on community projects, planting trees, building homes, and creating sustainable solutions for our planet would become a collective effort, driven by a shared sense of responsibility and purpose. Imagine the innovations that could arise from such collaboration. Scientists, artists, engineers, and thinkers from all walks of life coming together to solve the world's most pressing issues. So, while the idea of one big, happy family might seem far-fetched, it's not entirely out of reach. It's a vision that requires effort, understanding, and a willingness to embrace the beautiful chaos of our shared humanity. And who knows? Maybe one day, as we watch the sunset over a peaceful city, we'll realize that the journey towards this vision was worth every step. Because in the end, it's not about creating a perfect world, but about creating a world where everyone feels they belong. A world where we can all find joy in our shared experiences and hope in our collective future.